Hey everybody, welcome back to the farm. I don't have a lot of time today. I just wanted to show you this field. I'm still opening up the field. There's no way I'll have enough time to finish all of this during the recording, but I wanted to show you this field because I don't think that I've shown it to you yet, and I just wanted to make sure that you guys kind of saw at least a little bit of every field that I farm. In case you missed it, I did just get done streaming last night what I called episode 10.5. It was, well, yeah, it's between episodes 10 and this one, 11. This is 11. So if you guys want to check that out, be sure to head over to Twitch Collection. You'll see the link in my description below. That's not trolling for views or something. Twitch doesn't work like that. That's just in case you want to know the full story and wanted to see the history of a live stream, which honestly most people don't, because the whole point of Twitch is to see the live stream. But anyway, it's there if you want it, so be sure to check it out. It would be nice one day. I mean, you know, Twitch is kind of a weird animal, because let's just go back around here where we did. So these are called basically well, those are called point rows because it comes to a point. These are I guess these are point rows too, but these are the end rows that wrap around to the long rows. Those long rows are pretty short, but it's a necessity because you have to plant corn all the same direction. You know, it's a road crop, and when you have a curvy edge like this, it's just unavoidable that you have to have a few of those really awkward short rows. So that's just a weird thing that you got to deal with road crops. And I think, are we on the outside 6? No, well, maybe we missed a little bit there. It's just every time I do this, it's hard to be happy because Giants does not do row crops, and it feels so wrong, like crossing over the rows like that, when in reality it wouldn't be crossing over the rows. It would be the rows actually curving slightly to contour to the edge of the field. It's really something I hope they fix one day. Anyway, when we get down here to the edge of the field, I'm gonna have to remember how I planted it. Either we're gonna knock over a lot of corn, or hopefully I planted it correctly. If I planted it correctly, this should go all the way to the edge. Nope, I did not. So you see the texture there on the ground? That means it was planted lengthways all the way to the edge, which means the rows go this way, which means I have to drive the combine to the edge, perpendicular to the rows, which means I'm probably going to knock over some corn through this. It doesn't feed in perfectly, and typically you have some ears shaking loose and other ones that get knocked over, and it's just a messy prospect. That's why you always want to think about how you're going to harvest the corn while you're planting. You have to think about harvest when you're planting. It's another added aspect of farming in real life that the game just doesn't have, but it makes it so much more interesting in real life. Anyway, we're going to turn on in here and try to gotta go back the other way. We're gonna try to get the 6 along the edge here and go back inside. Yeah, we'd be knocking over some corn there since we didn't grab the edge. And I don't actually, I'm gonna have to talk to him because I did upgrade my tractor earlier. Roy asked me if I had any smaller equipment to sell him, the 3-meter equipment, and I might, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to upgrade too much of my equipment to the next size. So I might just have to keep my 3-meter equipment because there might not be an alternative. Or maybe I could do a transition where I'll sell it to him this year, but I sell it to him at a cheap cost where I could still use it this year and we'll share. Maybe something like that would work. I could hopefully try to get that working. And again, this would be where there's a slight curve here, so I would be harvesting this around a curve. So it would not really be knocking over the rows like it looks like it would be, because that would all be curved. Anyway, now I missed a little bit there. I really hope one day they can figure out how to make a proper row crop. I really miss it. It adds so much more depth to planting and harvesting. It's just a lot more fun. Sorry, I had a little bit of lag there. Normally that does not. That's actually a lot of lag. I don't know. I blame Windows updates. Normally I really rarely have lag like that. I can go for quite a long time. I guess it happens at least maybe once per session, a couple times per day like that, but overall it's pretty good. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, even if I could upgrade, I don't know what I would upgrade. I guess the cultivator to 6 meters would be easiest. That would be the easiest thing to upgrade, because that's also the cheapest. I can get, there's a cheap sapphire 6 meter cultivator that I could buy. So I can upgrade that thing. What else can I upgrade? The planter, I mean, the 6 meter planter is expensive. I could upgrade to the Coon Pack, but honestly, I really like the Coon Pack, but I hate how it has that ugly thing on the front, the seed tank. I hate that. It looks so stinking ugly. I can't stand it. So looks like we're caught. Our rear is caught on the fence here. A little bit embarrassing, but this would be a right angle corner. So what I'd have to do is I'd have to back up and shuck a little bit more in. That'd probably knock a little bit of corn over, and then I would have to try to cut into this other row at as much of a right angle as I can without missing anything. I'm gonna have to show some footage of opening up a field in real life so you guys can get a taste of what I'm talking about. And there we go, coming out, and that's the other 6. So depending on how I planted this, these would all be, you know, rows of 6. And you can't just pick any rows to jump in. You need to find what's called the planter rows, right? So if I have a 6-row head, I would need a 6-row. I would need a 6-row planter or a 12-row planter. That's just the way that you need to do it. Even with GPS, we have someone with very accurate. I forget the name of this, but it's GPS, but it's also relative to a fixed point. So there's absolutely no GPS drift. I mean, that thing's perfectly accurate. With GPS drift, without referencing a fixed point, GPS will drift, and you will be off. Like if you take a break for lunch and you come back to plant, your rows are going to be off, and it's not going to be pretty. But you know, so we have someone plant our corn for us because he has GPS and we don't, and that increases our yield maybe 5%. But anyway, I notice harvesting, even he gets off sometimes. You still try to follow for the most part it's okay. You can pick, and we missed a row. For the most part, you can pick any 6 rows, and even if it's a planter. When I say a planter row, that's it's not lined up with the planter, right? So if you have a 6-row planter and a 6-row corn head, oh my goodness, I'm not paying attention to this. Combine takes forever to stop. If you have a 6-row planter and a 6-row corn head, that's ugly. The planter rows would be, so for example, if the planter, let me just finish back. Yeah, I would have knocked over more corn there. Getting ugly. Planter rows are what I'm talking about. So say for example, whoops. So say the planter, we would have, well, let's go all the way back here. So say the planter planted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? But say I decided to take 1, 2, 3. So say I decided to take these 3 and then 3 more. So I would be taking 2 different passes from the planter on one combine. And if that thing gets off at all, if the corn's ready to go down, it could shake ears loose and it could make them pop out of the head there. So in general, you want to try to avoid that, but you can't, especially with GPS, you just don't always know where the planter rows are. A lot of times you can find them by, so for example, if you look on the end rows, it can be hard to tell. Let's dump into the first one here. Well, actually we can't with the corn. We'll just dump in the rear trailer. And there we go. Sometimes when you're on a curve here, or even when the planter comes out straight, you can see just slight differences. Like, okay, here's 12 rows all at the same depth, and then you have another row. So say, for example, that could be the start of another row of a planter. It almost looks like that, even though I know that's not possible. But that's just how I harvested it. So yeah, that would be like the start of another row of 6 or whatever size planter we have. But anyway, that's just, you don't have to do that when you're harvesting a field with GPS, but I've noticed that it still seems to help, because there is a clear difference where every now and then you're driving along through the middle of the field and you can see, oops, looks like the GPS wasn't perfect and it got off just slightly. But that is neither here nor there, because it's farming, quote, simulator. Okay, so we missed the 3 over here on this side. Let's just go grab them real quick here. Or there's only 2 down here. Let's just take these all the way to the end. And we'll come back and grab those others. There we go. And this is the difficult part, because we would be, let's see here. So we are gonna go, I don't think here I would plant 2 sets of end rows. I'd probably only plant 1. So we'll just take these all the way out, and I think we're good there. And let's just try to go straight forward and hit the rest of these, because the rest of these I would certainly have another set of end rows down here. So these would actually be curving around the corner, which is what we're gonna pretend that it does, instead of ending straight like that. So that's really a curve, another set of end rows, and we would go around the corner up here all the way down to the end of the field. And then we're going to have to go square up the other side as well, because there's going to be some odd little pointer rows over on the end there. And sometimes it's also off if you have to go out and replant, because when you go out to replant, there's no way you can tell where, well, I mean, I guess if you have GPS, you can tell, but it's hard to know to get those replant rows exactly lined up unless you have GPS again. Then you can retrace your exact same tracks. And there we go. So, you know what, while we're down here, we might as well just finish up opening the rest of this field. We're going to cheat a little bit. External camera. And we're going to have to go into this at somewhat of a sharp angle. Again, this would be my brother getting out here and picking up some corn that I knocked down on the end. On the end rows, it's just, even the best planting job, it's pretty much unavoidable to not knock over any corn. It's just really hard to plant it perfectly. Sometimes it works out that way, where you have for example, on one of our fields, we have a lane on, well, I mean, if you're familiar with Tazewell County, we have a lane on one side, so it's a little bit easier to turn around and get into since it's open on one side, and we can generally plant that field where we can get easy access to, let's go this way. Where we can get easy access to going straight on the end rows. But then again, that field wraps around the house and the barnyard, and so there's a lot of curves up there that we can't always get into perfectly that are gonna be a little bit ugly and knocking over some corn. It's hard. It's unavoidable. Typically, you know, since we have time, we're not bigger farmers, and every little bit matters to us. Who's ever in the auger wagon is driving behind the combine, walking, you know, getting out periodically, making sure our settings are right, making sure we're not dumping corn, making sure that the ears that we're dumping are getting shelled properly. We're not losing corn on the cob that's getting dumped out the back. So over on this side, this is going to be what's tough. I think let's just take maybe 4. Let's take 4. And that should help cover any slack. Oh, okay, so 4 turned into 3. But, and now to 2. But that should help cover any, and we're going to go to 1. That should help cover any slack that you have from the pointer rows. And it looks like still got 2 going there on the left. It's hard to tell with depth perception, and 1 now. Yeah, see, it's really 1 row I'm picking up, but it shows that I'm picking up that extra row, so it's not perfect. I don't even know how they... Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Anyway, now I forget completely where we left off. So, let's go on up. You know what? We're just going to have to take... Let's just take these 6. And that's 1 row. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so let's just go straight from here. And we'll come back and get that outside row. Outside pass, whatever it is. I hope it's only 6 rows over there. I didn't really count. And it is really nice having GPS, because you don't have to worry about the planter rows. Really. I mean, really you don't. And most of the time, you can't tell a difference anyway, so you just don't worry about them. And it's nice to, like, you know, in the past, if we wanted to go drive down the middle of the field, for example, and, you know, and do a land, then we would have to count rows from the edge, like, right? So if we knew we were on the planter rows on the edge, we'd have to go down to the middle of the field and try to count. You know, so here's 6, because we know our planter is 6 rows, right? Here's 6, you know, so we count in increments of 6, and then we'd be able to go down the middle of the field. Sometimes you think you can see where the planter rows are just driving, like I pointed out earlier, but then you find out that, oh, that was just where corn died on the edge. It wasn't actually the planter, and I'm off. And then without GPS planting, you're really off. So it is really nice having GPS. You don't generally have to do that. You can just kind of go and pick your 6 and go from there. And we have, I do hope I can finish this field before we run out of fuel. So let's cheat again, get into, this kind of thing is so much easier to see in real life. The actual mirrors. I use mirrors when I back up the combine all the time in real life. It is relatively easy. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try to get centered here. And we will stop while we're up here. Let's run over and go grab our... Shouldn't run behind the chopper like that. That's the perfect timing, well, not only the dust, but that's perfect timing for a corn cob to slap you in the side of the temple. does not feel pleasant. And we can only hold, like, what, 4,000 liters in there, and we have another 5,000 or so in the front trailer, so we're good putting it there. And look at this cab. We can actually see the auger as opposed to the little icer, it's so much smaller. We couldn't even see over the top of that tipper with that smaller, with the smaller tractor. Whoops, wrong. I pressed E to get in the combine, and I got in the tractor. Okay, there we go. And that'll just about fill up that front trailer there. Our field is just about opened up, and that's about all the time I have today. I think I'll go down one more time just to kind of finish these point rows. But that's about it. I've got a lot of chores to do. It is Saturday morning here that I am recording. I don't know. I might release this for a lazy Sunday, or I might actually release this for a Monday. Well, no. You know what? I should have enough time on Monday to make another episode for you guys. So I'll release this probably on Sunday. You guys can enjoy a little Sunday morning cartoonery or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's get on with this. So we're gonna stay on these rows, even if some of them are point rows. I don't think we'll run into fence trouble if we just keep it straight here. I can't remember how far in that fence goes or not, but I think we're fine here. I'm gonna just do a little cruise control. Just there we go. Just to make things a little bit easier here. And going downhill should hopefully pick up a little speed. And well, we're going to pick up some speed as we thresh less rows. That is one thing that I really miss from Farming Simulator 13. I liked how with MR, for example, if the rain was coming, you could actually drive the combine faster. But you would lose grain. Now, he actually just limits the speed that you can drive based on the throughput of the combine, based on the capacity and horsepower of the combine and the threshing drum size. Yeah, in real life you could plug the combine if you go too fast, but there's a huge variance there. For example, our combine with a 6-row corn head, we can go about 3 miles an hour, but we just do a better job if we keep it under 2.5, 2.2 even. A lot of times we'll just go 2.2 because we'll be waiting on the grain trucks anyway, so might as well just go a little bit slower, do a better job. Sometimes it's counterintuitive if you go too slow, especially if you have wet corn, getting the if you have a wet cob, not wet, spongy. If the cob is spongy, the book actually says to try to put more in there so it basically clashes around with itself more and it can shell the corn a little bit better. But for the most part, going slower to a certain point does a better job. And that's what we like to do because we have the time to do that. And we do notice less corn on the ground when we go slower. And that's something that I miss, though, because it's like, I mean, I don't think we've ever been in such a big hurry where we feel, okay, I have to go 3 miles an hour to get this in ahead of the rain, you know, instead of the normal speed. But it'd be nice if we had that option. We're small enough farmers, I don't think we have to worry about that, really. But it's nice gameplay-wise if you have that option. And that's what I really enjoyed about MR. Oh, boy. Somehow we got off there. That's another problem. With not having row crops, you know, if that was a row crop, you would clearly see that you were, you know, before you get to the point where you're knocking down corn because you switch rows, because you crossed over with the snouts, you would clearly see the corn leaning to one side. It's just so much easier to keep it centered in real life. It's a lot clearer, I guess you could say. But anyway, forget what I was talking about before that. Yeah, I did enjoy that part of more realistic 13. It gives you options. It's nice. You can go fast enough where you lose crop. It gives you the option to go faster. You know, I mean, because that's what a lot of bigger. Well, granted, they have bigger, newer combines, and they can go faster. But for guys that might not have the best combine in the world, but they still have more acres, a lot of them do go faster, and they don't worry about the extra 1 or 2% loss that they have out the back of the combine, because they'll lose more if they can't harvest all their crop. You know, and if they're cutting it so close they have weather delays, then they need to go even faster to make up the difference. And that's just a gameplay aspect that isn't in the base game. It's not in more realistic 17. I really miss that from 13. I do. And I actually really miss the dust, the particles from 13. That was so much more real. I don't know if that was just a more realistic edition. I should go back and watch those particles, because that looks like real life. I should do a comparison. That's one of the things I notice most, because I like to watch external cameras often, and I like to watch. We're gonna be done here, so we can turn off the combine. I like to watch just the dust and the particles stream out from behind the combine, and that's just not something you can do in the game right now. That looks like dust when you unload. That looks like that's a pretty good particle effect. I think that's pretty good, but not out of the back of the combine. More realistic in 13 did that awesome. Again, that might be part of the base game, I don't know, but it was done really, really well. And that's just what I remember. And really? Is that trailer not? I thought we had, how much do we have in that trailer? I thought we would have enough 18. Oh, that's right. I dumped a load in the back once. I forgot that. I was saying, okay. I got confused because I saw 10,000 liters total. So I knew the combine had 4,000 last time. I'm like, okay, well, if we dump in the front, then we're going to be full. Yeah. I forgot that 4,000 or so of those liters was in the back. Anyway, we're gonna turn off the combine. It's probably been cooled off enough by this point, and knocking over a little bit more corn. But the game doesn't care. Yeah, that's a little crooked, but whatever. Good enough for Farming Simulator quotes. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I just wanted to show you a little bit of this field. I'll probably finish this later today on at some point. Probably not gonna stream today. My voice is a little bit gone since yelling for I don't know, I guess I talk really loud or something, because I cannot stream for more than an hour without my voice going, and it's already kind of starting to go today. So I will be done with this, and I will talk to you guys again. Let's see, today is gonna be Sunday. I'll have a Monday episode up. I'm really enjoying doing these recordings. I think, well, if I have time, I might stream. Honestly, I'll probably be doing Couch Farming Simulator on laptop, which means not a stream today. But anyway, I just wanted to record a little bit, enough for an episode. I will see you guys later. And like I said earlier in the episode, be sure to check out that Twitch collection on, if you click at the top on Twitch, you can see the collections, and you'll see 10.5. So, you know what, let's just show you real quick. If you go up here to, let's go to display, capture. If you go up here to Twitch and, well, where's the collection? You can click on collections, you will click on this for videos, and if you click up here at the top, at least on, oh, I guess you don't even have to click, you just hover, right up there at the top, 1 of 4 videos, and it'll bring up all the different videos in between this series. And so you can click on 10.5, Shucking Corn, and this was, you know, I think this goes for about 5 minutes. I'm generally pretty good at starting on time, so you can go there and I'll be okay. Yeah, likely story. Killed myself. But anyway, that's how you access the Twitch collection. Just because it's a little bit different from YouTube. If you have any trouble, that's how you get to the different videos on Twitch. Anyway, I will see you guys later. I might stream it later today. I don't know. If I do, it'll be episode 11.5, so look for that. But anyway, I will see you guys later. I think I've said that about 10 times now. So, without anything further,